Plus, federal government tasks media to drive public servants' accountability. Hello there, it's the World News, and this is River State, the treasure base of the nation. Let's build and take it to greater heights. It is a task we must accomplish. Don't forget, we are live on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok at our Rstv page. Do us a favor, click that small bell so you can subscribe to us to receive live feed from the studios. My name is Abubele Barapaka, and I welcome you to the news. The Center for Water and Sanitation Studies in the Rivers State University has joined the global community to commemorate World Water Day, themed Water and Gender. Director of the center, Professor Peter Kuki, reaffirmed its commitment to collaborate with relevant stakeholders to ensure water safety and sustainability in Nigeria. Emmanuel Emeyono covered the event for Rstv.
Professor Kuki noted that this year's theme, Water and Gender, highlights a simple but powerful truth captured in the slogan, "Where water flows, equality grows." He explained that across many communities, particularly in the Niger Delta and other vulnerable regions, women and girls bear the greatest burden of water scarcity, poor sanitation, and inadequate hygiene services. According to him, the center's mission is to develop highly skilled professionals, generate contextually relevant research, and provide innovative solutions to Nigerians' water and sanitation challenges. He added that through its program, Rivers State University is helping to build the next generation of scientists, practitioners, and policy leaders who will drive sustainable water, sanitation, and hygiene systems across Nigeria and African continent.
Our mission is clear: to develop highly skilled water professionals, generate contextually relevant research, and provide innovative solutions to Nigerian water sanitation challenges. The center has already achieved several Olympic milestones, notably Professor Peter Kuki, who leads the center, holds the distinction of being the first professor of sanitation in Nigeria and the first professor of regenerative sanitation globally.
Guest lecturer Professor Nemi Barini Zabi, who spoke on the topic Water for All, Bridging Gender Gaps in Access, Safety, and Water Stewardship, emphasized the importance of access to clean and safe water in the Niger Delta. He noted that improved water hygiene is critical in combating waterborne diseases such as diarrhea, which claims the lives of over 7,000 children under the age of 5 annually in Nigeria. He further explained that access to clean water reduces vulnerability to illness caused by industrial pollution, oil contamination, and poor sanitation.
Rapid population growth, climate change, pollution, and poor infrastructure contribute to the water crisis. Addressing these challenges requires system thinking or integrated solutions, combining environmental restoration, infrastructure development, and social inclusion.
In their goodwill messages, the Vice-Chancellor of the Rivers State University, Professor Isaac Zeb Obipi, represented by Professor Blessing Jaja, the chairperson of the Rivers State chapter of the Nigerian Association of Social Workers, Nnamdi Ahiamadu, as well as representatives of the Ministry of Water Resources and Women Affairs, all commended the center for hosting the event. They described the theme as apt and timely, noting that it will raise public awareness on the need to prevent water pollution and promote sustainable water use.
Creating awareness around the relevance of water is very important, and the theme for this year's celebration is even more critical because it addresses the disproportional impact of water scarcity on our women folk.
World Water Day is observed annually to highlight the importance of water to human development, environmental sustainability, and social equity. Emmanuel Emenyono, Rstv News.
Efforts geared towards rebranding Rstv Television for optimum performance continued with the training of cameramen, editors, and operation directors. The two-day exercise, which began with cameramen, was declared open by the acting general manager, Ambassador Paul Lambo. Juliet Stephen completes the report.
The acting general manager, who threw more light on the essence of the exercise, commended the participants for their massive turnout, describing it as first of its kind for decades. He said it is high time that the station takes training of staff seriously to enable them fit into modern television production techniques and urged them to take the training serious and utilize knowledge gained to improve their capacity and productivity. According to him, workers who are multi-skilled are more useful to the employer and stand the chance of getting better job opportunities in bigger organizations, and that is why the training is important. The acting general manager equally appreciated the permanent secretary, Ministry of Information and Communication, Dr. Honor Sirawu, for supporting the station to achieve set objectives.
We are impressed with your tutorials and hands-on sections, and we believe that all of us who participated have acquired valuable knowledge and skills that will improve on the quality of our productions. I want us to not to take it for granted. We must handle the facilities that have just been acquired with care.
The facilitator, Benga Teller, who thanked management of River State Television for the opportunity to provide the trainings, said the participants were taught new skills in camera operation and urged management to sustain the initiative by making it a continuous exercise.
Changing the quality of our content and rebranding the image of the station, and also keeping the character and the ability of our men, mostly cameramen and editors, also producers, to upgrade the way we work and making sure that when you are talking about Rstv, you know that you are talking about one of the best stations in the world.
Some of the participants thanked management for the training, which according to them did not only refresh their memory, but they learned new ways of doing things.
On our own part as staff, assuring management that whatever that has been taught we will put into practice, and Rstv will turn to be a better place.
The two-day training program continues on Wednesday, March 25th. For editors and operation directors, Stephen Juliet, Rstv News.
The management, staff, and students of WizKids High School, Azwabi, have expressed appreciation to the Rstv Television for the opportunity to embark on a tour of their facilities. Melvin Jackson reports that the management of the school said the excursion aims to expose the students to extracurricular activities.
Rstv, your source for authentic coverage.
Subsequent bulletins. The Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Waidi Shaibu, has assured officers and soldiers of the 6th Division Nigerian Army, Port Harcourt, that their welfare remains a central pillar of his leadership and command philosophy. He gave the assurance during a special last celebration luncheon with troops of the division. Justice Ihumo takes it from here.
Lieutenant General Shaibu, represented by the Commander Nigerian Army Armored Corps, Major General Umaru Abubakar, said the strength of the Army do not only lie on operational capabilities, but on their well-being, morale, and confidence of the personnel, and reassured of his commitment to improving their living condition and enhancing professional development, and ensuring that every member of the Nigerian Army is treated with dignity, fairness, and care. The Chief of Army Staff noted that their sacrifice to the nation will always be matched with collective responsibility to support and uplift them, and expressed appreciation to sister services for their sacrifices and gratitude to President Tinubu for his continuous support to the armed forces. He expressed the uniqueness of this year's Eid al-Fitr celebration as the holy month of Ramadan coincided with the Christian Lenten season, as both Muslims and Christian army undertook fasting and spiritual obligation at the same time, which reminded them of the unity that binds them as an army, anchored on sacrifice, humility, self-restraint, compassion, which are moral foundation of delivering service and shape professional soldiers.
In this period of joy and thanksgiving, we must also pause in solemn reflection to remember those whose sacrifices made our celebrations possible.
The General Officer commanding 6th Division, Major General Emmanuel Emeka, pointed out that the occasion provides a moment to reflect on the values that binds them together as a professional force and strengthen the bond between leadership and troops, which are critical for operational effectiveness and mission successes. The GOC assured the Chief of Army Staff that the troops of 6th Division remain resolute and committed to the discharge of their constitutional responsibility, despite the complexity of their operational environment, as his leadership and unwavering support has continued to inspire them to do more.
So your presence here is deeply appreciated and serve as a strong source of motivation, encouragement, and charge to the officers and soldiers of this division to continue to perform their duties. The occasion provides us with a moment to reflect on the values that bind us together as a professional force. It also allows us to strengthen the bond between leadership and troops, which remain critical to operational effectiveness and successes.
Justice Ihuo, Rstv News.
This is Rstv Television, and it is the treasure base of the nation. Let's build and take her to greater heights. It is a task we must accomplish. Watch Rstv News live. It is on YouTube, Facebook, TikTok, and Instagram at RSTVPH. Subscribe. Click that notification bell so you receive us from the studios. U.S.-Israel war forces Philippines authorities to declare state of emergency in energy sector. And in sports, football patrons take FIFA to court over excessive ticket prices. These stories and more will make the next half of the bulletin if you stay with us when we return after this break.
Rstv Television, your treasured station. Rstv produces the best programs. We give you very good documentaries, programs that are so exciting and educative.
Latest exclusive into Nigerian football news, English Premier League, CAF Champions League, La Liga, and hiring of your social event. You can hire our field right here in LLA1, Rstv.
Now that's Rstv Television. Stay with us.
Omega Power Ministries, OPM Worldwide, presents 7 Sundays Deliverance titled
Summon them to the court of heaven. Are they fighting you for what God has given to you? Summon them to the court of heaven. Is there a wicked gang up against you? Summon them to the court of heaven. Are they attacking your children? Summon them to the court of heaven. Are they fighting against your miracle pregnancy? Summon them to the court of heaven. Are they spiritually blocking your marital breakthrough? Summon them to the court of heaven. Is there any sickness in your body that have refused to go? Summon that sickness to the court of heaven. When all that court fails, the court of heaven stands. Date:
Sunday 29th March, Sunday 5th April, Sunday 12th April, Sunday 19th April, and Sunday 26th April 2026.
Time 9 a.m. Venue: Dr. Jesus City.
4 p.m. Dr. Jesus in action. Dr. Jesus in action. God is here.
This is Rstv World.
Financing of terrorism, also called AML CFT Media Outreach Program. The program themed the role of media in the fight against corruption, issues and challenges was attended by stakeholders with the minister represented by the Executive Secretary and Chief Executive Officer of the Nigerian Press Council, Dr. Dili Izuga. Idris said the administration of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has strengthened financial intelligence systems, improved monitoring of suspicious transactions, and enhanced compliance with global anti-money laundering and counter-terrorism financing standards. According to him, key institutions, including the Nigerian Financial Intelligence Unit, have improved coordination and enforcement, increasing the ability to detect, investigate, and prevent financial crimes. The Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) has set new regulations and guidelines for election expenses for political parties, hoping that the new regulations will foster a more transparent 2027 general elections. Chairman of the Commission, Professor Joe Ashampitong, who disclosed this at a consultative meeting with leaders of political parties on the review of the regulations and guidelines for political parties, said the Commission cannot conduct the 2027 elections using a 2022 roadmap. Professor Ampiton said the process leading to every credible election begins long before the polling day, begins with the transparency of the processes that produce the candidates. His observations came just as the Inter-Party Advisory Council warned that lapses observed during the 2023 general elections must not occur again, saying the trust deficit in the electoral system and voter apathy will persist unless decisive steps are taken to reform the current electoral framework. EPAC said that the current Electoral Act, as passed by the National Assembly, and the timetable released by the Commission have placed undue pressure on political parties and may eventually lead to disenfranchisement. Now, joy and celebrations rent the air as family members, friends, and well-wishers joined the paramount ruler of Rumoba town, His Highness Temple Ejeko, to mark his birthday. Namdo Limini covered the moments of that day.
His Royal Highness Temple Ejeku expressed appreciation to God for his grace and mercies which has seen him thus so far. He equally thanked the people of Romoba for the support given to him to serve them and charged them to remain peaceful and law-abiding and support government programs to attract more development to the area. According to him, throughout his lifetime and his reign as a king, he has supported and empowered many people in and outside Romoba town and promised to do more as God continues to bless him. The royal father used the opportunity to appeal to politicians in Rivers State to work for peace, remain united, and promote the interest of the state.
United, should not be committed to the cause of kingdom, the cause of the kingdom, and that they should always learn to keep their hearts clean, keep their wills straight, whatever thing they are doing, and try to make sure that they are fair to all. Play it with all amount of dignity, and they should also play it with ample amount of respect for each other.
Children of the celebrant and some guests who graced the event congratulated the celebrant for attaining the new age and wished him many more years of good health, service to God and humanity. They describe him as a peaceful, honest and humble man who has done so much for his people and urge him not to relent but continue to do more.
A man that has a purpose on earth, a man that has visionary leadership imbued in him, a man that lives for humanity.
We wish him long life, prosperity, wisdom.
A man of dignity, is a man of self-esteem.
To grant him good health, to give him that wisdom.
Prosperity has come, but the life to manage and to live and enjoy what God have done for him.
Toast and dances were some highlights of the event. Nnamdi Olimini, Rstv News.
Now to foreign matters. Australia and the European Union have agreed a sweeping free trade deal after 8 years of negotiations. The deal signed in Canberra is worth about 10 billion Australian dollars and was described as a mutual win-win by Australia's Prime Minister and the visiting European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen. She described the deal as having a focus on collective resilience in a world that is deeply changing. As well as removing almost all tariffs on trade, the two sides agreed to increase cooperation on defense and critical minerals. The Philippines has declared a state of national emergency or energy emergency, citing
It's
the
7 a.m.
imminent
here.
danger posed to the country's fuel supplies by the conflict in the Middle East. President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. said he had signed an executive order to safeguard energy security amid severe disruption to global supply chains. The US-Israel war with Iran and the effective closure of the Strait of Hormuz, a key shipping route, has sent shock waves through global energy markets, causing soaring prices and shortages. The Philippines is highly dependent on fuel imports and particularly vulnerable to disruptions in production and shipments. Now, sports news. Rivers United stumbled again in their title bid, going down 4-1 to Nasarawa United at the Lafayette City Stadium on Monday. Finidi George's team aimed to return to the top of the table, instead suffered a heavy defeat away from home with two quick-fire goals from Nge Olukaifo and Abubakar Abdullahi in the early moments of the game, while Chimezie Victor added the third for the Solid Miners in the 15th minute. Taiwo Abdul Rafiu pulled a goal back for Rivers United in the 24th minute. Nasarawa United moved to their third position on the table with 50 points from 31 games, and the Pride of Rivers remain in second with 52 points from the same number of matches. In Umuahia, Abia Warriors defeated Niger Tornadoes 2-1 as Siraju Lawal gave the home team the lead after 7 minutes, while Joseph Godfrey reduced the deficit for Tornadoes 10 minutes from time. The Nigeria Football Federation, also called NFF, has approved amendments to its statutes and electoral framework fixing 26 September this year for its elective Congress in Lafayette, the Nasarawa state capital, as well as the host city, setting the stage for the Federation's next leadership transition. The decisions were taken at an extraordinary General Assembly held at the DSP Alamiya Seya Banquet Hall, Government House, Yenagoa, Bayelsa State on Monday. Congress unanimously endorsed revisions to the NFF statutes of the March 2026 edition, electoral code and standing orders aimed at strengthening governance and transparency. It also ratified a 12-member electoral committee and appeals committee drawn from the 6 geopolitical zones to be inaugurated on 25 March in Abuja. Delegates passed a vote of confidence on the NFF Executive Committee led by Ibrahim Gusau, citing strides in football development nationwide. The Assembly observed a minute's silence for late football figures and commended President Bola Tinubu for supporting sports, particularly the funding and incentives for national teams and international competitions. It also praised the Bayelsa state government for hosting the Congress, which was attended by FIFA and CAF representatives, while it expressed support for Nigeria's football reforms. Still on football supporters from Europe, the group called FSE has filed a lawsuit on Tuesday with the European Commission against football's world governing body, FIFA, over excessive ticket prices for this year's World Cup finals. The FSE and the Euro Consumers Group said the tickets for the 11 June to 19 July tournament in the United States, Canada, and Mexico were overpriced, complaining that FIFA has a monopoly over the sales. The FSE said in a statement that the prices for the final were way above those for the 2022 final in Qatar. By contrast, it said the cheapest UEFA Euro 2024 final tickets were 95 euros, an equivalent of $100. And that's it on the news tonight. River State is the treasure base of the nation. Let's build and take it to greater heights. This is a task we must accomplish. Watch Rstv News live on YouTube, Facebook, TikTok, Instagram at Rstv Potrakat or Rstv PH. Subscribe and click on that bell so you get us live from the studios. Now, a reminder of some of our major stories for tonight. Efforts geared towards rebranding Rstv Television for optimum performance continued with the training of cameramen, editors, and operation directors and was declared open by the Acting General Manager, Ambassador Paul Dangbo. The Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) has set new regulations and guidelines for election expenses for political parties, hoping that the new regulations will foster a more transparent 2027 general